Tonight on CTV News, $1 million worth of methamphetamine is stopped from entering the South Island. Labour MP Megan Woods grills Minister Brownlee about an EQC inquiry, and new pause on deck at Christchurch's International Airport.
Broadcasting across Canterbury, from the CTV studio, this is First at 5.
Good evening, welcome to CTV News, now live streaming every night at ctv.co.nz. Well, police have stopped more than $1 million worth of methamphetamine getting into the South Island market. It was part of a coordinated police approach carried out in Auckland, Christchurch and Pigton. A 22-year-old man was stopped just after midnight leaving the ferry terminal with more than 1 kilogram of the drug. The Rebel Motorcycle Club headquarters in Papanui was searched by police in the early hours of this morning too. A further 2 arrests were made in Auckland this afternoon as part of the operation, but police say they are still continuing to investigate. Well, Labour's Megan Woods has questioned Jerry Brownlee today in the House about the Earthquake Commission and the alleged shoddy repairs by contractors. But he says of the 69,000 homes in the repair program, 3,600 have needed specialist technical input, and a further 2,100 of these have been identified as having the jack and pack repair method applied to them. Minister Brownlee says not all of these will be problematic, but all of them are being checked. And he says the further cost of further remediation is estimated to be between just $500 and $1,000 per property. But he maintains in most cases this won't be at the cost of the Crown, but at the cost of the contractor responsible for the work.
When 30% of repairs are defective in one review, Cantabrians are increasingly expressing concern about the wider EQC repair program, and the allegations of nepotism at EQC are rife. What will it take for him to start taking this seriously and launch an independent inquiry?
The Honourable Jerry Brownlee.
Mr Speaker, I've taken the issue of repairing houses in Canterbury seriously from the 7th of September when we had the first meeting about those issues. There have been a large number of houses that are damaged. Many of them are over cap, but 69,000 fall under the $100,000 repair cap set by EQC. Mr Speaker, I do not believe that the excitement that some want to generate about some small amount of failure of meeting a compliance that might cost between $500 and $1,000 to fix, if found to be defective, is a reason to have an inquiry of the nature the member seeks.
A local resident is concerned about the quality of the city's rivers, saying the time has come to have a further consultation about the future of our waterways.
It's not just water making its way down this river.
Scum, rubbish, and it's covered in this yellow powder stuff that we didn't know what it was. It's not pollen.
A concerned resident was shocked to see large amounts of rubbish in Dudley Creek and wants something done. Tingy contacted Environment Canterbury, who sent out a team to assess the river.
So it'd be really interesting to know what they come up with for this. Everywhere you look, there's pipes pouring water into it, off streets, off housing, everywhere there's water, and we don't know what that water's like. It just looks dirty. It doesn't look like a living stream.
Although the section of the river in concern has been cleared, she believes a wider talk needs to be had.
We all need to have a really big community conversation about how important fresh living water is to us. How important it's always been in Christchurch or Tahi.
It's not just residents though, but whitebait as well.
Which we're now having discussion about because they're dying and we're not having struggles with keeping them alive. And if we had fresh, clean water, it would be wonderful.
Acting Unit Manager for City Water and Waste, Tim Joy, says the Christchurch City Council's maintenance contractor regularly inspects and removes rubbish from the waterways. But issues can arise between inspections, and residents are encouraged to report them to council, whether that be through phone or online. He says the main focus is to remove larger objects with rubbish being trapped in booms further down the river.
Basically, Christchurch, we're a garden city and this needs to be part of our garden.
She hopes the issue will be cleared up soon. Jared McCulloch, CTV News.
Meanwhile, money is being pumped into Christchurch Rivers to help restore whitebait habitats. The Community Conservation Trust Fund is providing more than $126,000 to help restore the habitats. And CTV News spoke to Associate Conservation Minister Nikki Wagner about what this means for Christchurch's rivers.
The project will see material placed along the banks of the Avon and Heathcote Rivers to hold the whitebait eggs, which have previously been washed away on sandy post-earthquake riverbanks. Whitebait numbers have diminished since the earthquakes, something the Associate Conservation Minister sees as an issue for rivers.
It has made a significant effect. There are less whitebait there, and that's a real problem, not just for people catching them, but of course a lot of birds and fish live on whitebait as well. So what we're losing is the source of food for a lot of people in our rivers. So it's really important that we actually restore that so that they can come back in.
The Minister also announced that the Community Conservation Fund will contribute more than $33,000 to the Braided Rivers Partnership Project to improve the success of colony nesting birds along Canterbury Rivers.
Yes, the braided rivers are unique to New Zealand, of course, and they go from the top of Canterbury right down to Otago. So you start up with the Waiau on the top, and you come down through the Waimakariri, the Rakaia, the Rangitata, and the Waitaki. All those birds, all those areas are unique breeding places for colony birds, and they tend to breed on the stones, and so they're easily predated. So we need to protect those birds, and so I think it will be good. These birds are mostly either nationally critical, nationally vulnerable, or nationally endangered. So they are important birds to us.
Still to come here on CTV News, an Iraqi ward is named after a fallen Canterbury soldier. Welcome back to CTV News. A spectator who shouted racial abuse at a Fijian rugby player has been identified and has made a personal apology. The player was taunted back in July at the Christchurch Senior Rugby Club final, leaving the field in tears. Canterbury Police say no criminal charges have been laid, but the spectator has provided the player with a personal apology. Police are still working closely with Christchurch Football Club and the Lincoln University to identify others involved in the racial abuse. An Iraqi medical ward has been named in honour of a fallen Canterbury soldier. 26-year-old Jacinda Baker died alongside Corporal Luke Tamati and Private Richard Harris in August 2012 when their vehicle was struck by an explosive device in Afghanistan. The Jacinda Baker ward is now part of the military camp's special division, where she served alongside her New Zealand and Australian colleagues. The Defence Force says it's a fitting tribute to sacrifice that she made to our country. Well, they're a major part of our lives, and now there's a chance to join the crew. Chelsea Daniels gets the latest from the pilots and the paramedics behind the scenes at the Air Rescue Trust.
The Canterbury West Coast Air Rescue Trust has been at our service for nearly 26 years, saving countless lives across a wide range of situations.
Essentially, for every hour the chopper is in the air, it's $8,625. So it's certainly a very expensive service to run. But you know, essentially you can't put a price on a human life.
Since 1989, the region's air rescue service has undertaken over 8,350 rescue missions, saving countless lives.
We do around about a little bit over 650 jobs per year. So of those, I guess, lives actually saved, I guess they're looking at around about, maybe 15 to 20% of those people. But of all of those people that we've got, the outcome for those patients is better in every single case.
During last year alone, the team made over 850 missions. And Prince says it wouldn't be able to happen without the generous donations they receive.
Our fundraising target every year is $7 million. So we get about 30% of our funding through government, but all of the rest we rely on companies, on the community. We rely on donations, and that totals $7 million a year.
So what does a typical day look like for the crew? Stuart Farquhar is an air rescue pilot, and his isn't your typical workday.
One of the good things about being a rescue helicopter pilot is no 2 days are the same. So we don't really know what we're going to do from hour to hour, from almost minute to minute when we turn up at work. So we sort of start and finish our day at a certain time, but within that time period, we could be going, hundreds of miles out, well, not hundreds of miles out to sea, around about 100 miles out to sea. We could be going and rescuing somebody off the ski fields in the mountains, or just going down the road to, somebody's badly hurt themselves falling off a horse or having a car crash.
Along with the pilot, you've got your intensive care paramedic. Crew Chief Rick Knight says the team go through some pretty rigorous training to be able to administer the same medical interventions as you would in a normal circumstance in some pretty abnormal settings.
A lot of our other stuff that we train in is a lot to do with the environment that we work with. We do a lot of offshore jobs, water rescue jobs, river rescue work, high alpine, snow conditions, that sort of stuff. So a lot of our training is based on our own survival and how to look after ourselves and look after the patients as well.
And they have launched a new and exciting way that the public can get involved.
An exciting new thing that we've just launched is the Air Rescue Support Crew. So we're inviting people to come and effectively join the crew, and they sign up, and so you can do that for as little as $10 a month, up to $50 a month, and you will get registered to join the crew. You'll get invited along to a VIP event where you'll get to meet the crew. You can go into a draw to win a helicopter flight. There's wonderful merchandise that you'll receive, and you'll also go in the draw to potentially win $1,000 from Westpac. They've kindly donated that as one of our major sponsors.
But more importantly, you can be part of the amazing work that these guys do on a daily basis. Chelsea Daniels, CTV News.
The biosecurity team at Christchurch's International Airport work around the clock to prevent any nasties coming into this country. And now they have some new paws on deck. Here's Chelsea Daniels.
The Ministry for Primary Industries is upping their biosecurity at the Christchurch International Airport to ensure no unwanted pests or diseases enter our region.
This is our latest addition to our family, I guess. We've already got 2 X-ray machines which we've had for the last 3 years before they got upgraded. And this one here ups our ability by 50%.
The airport has received a new biosecurity X-ray machine that provides even more protection for our borders.
The old ones, which we got rid of 2 or 3 years ago, were about 16 years old, so using very, very old technology. So these ones are really up to date, really great with their picture quality, with the ability that they've got to show us the images, and also some cool little tips and tricks to actually test our guys as they're operating.
There are now 3 machines at the airport that are ready for the influx of passengers the team will see over the busy summer period.
We're really, really lucky in New Zealand in the fact that we've got borders that are completely, we're not connected to any other country. Being an island in the bottom of the world is just really fantastic from a biosecurity point of view. So you look at Europe, you look at America, all their borders are land-based and things can just pop across. They don't care about artificial lines on a page. So we've got really, really good control over who and what comes in.
Each machine is worth about $60,000 and they are put to good use, with the quarantine crew picking up unwanted nasties several times per flight. So what are the things that we should be taking more notice of?
Your food for your kids on the plane, your souvenirs, hiking boots, even your runners. If you take your runners off in a national park and do a bit of trail walking or something, not something you normally do, come back and you've got some seeds or things like that on your runners, just tell us about them. We can have a look, decide if anything needs to be done.
And the fight against pests and disease isn't just fought using expensive machinery.
Currently we've got 6 dog handler teams working, plus myself.
Schwalger says the dog team, a combination of Beagles and Labradors, are exceptionally good at what they do.
Things like plant material, it's quite difficult to see on an X-ray. Meat products, sometimes a sandwich. You've got to remember that sometimes a bag will come through and it's absolutely jam-packed with stuff, all sorts of things, and it can be extremely difficult for the X-ray operators to see. So the dogs in that case, they're at the end behind the X-rays, and so they pick up. They're the last line of defence, if you like.
Selected staff finished their detector dog handler training in Auckland with dogs Frank and Pip now joining the MPI team at Christchurch International.
They've only had their first week. They started last Monday. They both got seizures of passengers and the dogs are working extremely well.
Schwalger has been involved in dog training for biosecurity purposes for 17 and a half years now.
My first dog, I worked till 9.5 and he was still going strong. The next one I think was 8.5. So it's up to the individual. There's no cut-off time. But we do like to retire them before they have any health issues.
And she says the dogs are well looked after and get their important playtime in the morning and after work.
It's not a bad life. The handler picks them up in the morning, takes them to the park, has playtime. They come into work. A lot of people say to me, oh, it's a shame that they live in kennels. They are not missing out. They actually spend more time with the handlers than probably people that work do with their own dog.
The practice might seem a little bit old school, but even with the latest technology at hand, they still haven't found anything faster than a dog's nose. Chelsea Daniels, CTV News.
Still to come here on CTV News, sport and weather. Welcome back to CTV News. The University of Canterbury has moved up 31 places in its world rankings. Vice-Chancellor Dr Rod Carr says the result confirms the university's position well inside the top 3% of the world's universities. The QS ranking assesses university reputation among academics and employers, faculty and students ratio, research per facility as well, and the proportion of international staff and students enrolled. The Canterbury University is now 211th on the list. Well, if today is anything to go by, summer is just right around the corner, and with summer comes our summer game. Gordon Finlayter caught up with Canterbury Cricket CEO Lee Jamon to discuss what cricket fans have to look forward to this summer.
A Trans-Tasman 2020 match is the latest addition to Canterbury Cricket's calendar, with the Canterbury Kings set to take on the Sydney Thunder on December 4th. Canterbury Cricket CEO Lee Jamon says the match has been in the pipeline for some time and local fans should be excited about the quality of cricket that will be on display.
Mike Hussey will lead the team. We're expecting Shane Watson to come over, who's the Sydney Thunder captain, I think, this year as well. So we're expecting Shane to come. And then their overseas signing, Jacques Callis, is one of their overseas signings. We're not sure if he's going to come or not. Last year they had Andre Russell, the West Indian player. They've got Aidan Blizzard and obviously Clint Mackay as one of their leading pace bowlers. Andrew McDonald, who's a past Australian international as well. So we expect them to bring a really strong side, but really led by Hussey and Watson, two of the best performing international cricketers over the last 10 years.
Canterbury's season begins early next month with the 4-day Plunket Shield competition before the Kings begin their 2020 campaign in November. Hagley Oval will host 4 of the Kings' domestic games over the space of a month, the perfect chance for families to enjoy a day at the cricket.
This year we're looking at having some interactive cricketing opportunities for them to bowl into nets, just to play around the outside of the game. We'll have a lot of things up our sleeve to make it really attractive. For all our Georgie Pie games, if kids come in for $5, they're going to eat free. So we're going to launch some new promotions to really bring people to the ground. Sydney Thunder is at 4:30 on a Friday, so we expect a lot of people to come after school and finish work a bit early and come down and have a sort of an early Christmas celebration here as well.
Hagley Oval is restricted to 13 days where they can host over 2,000 people, making the prioritisation of matches a juggling act.
Yeah, it is a balancing act, but our priority is international cricket. Yeah, we want as much international cricket as we can get here because that's great for our city, it's great for our young cricketers, but also our people of Christchurch to see international teams here. So we went in and wanted as much international cricket. We're really happy with 2 one-day internationals and a test match against Australia when there's only 2 test matches in the country. Fantastic.
Aside from the Cricket World Cup, one of the biggest successes for Hagley Oval was the Boxing Day Test. While the test match has been substituted for a one-day international this year, Jamon is hopeful of the fixture returning in the future.
I think it's very much still on the radar. The good thing is that Boxing Day is still here in Christchurch, albeit a one-dayer. We'd prefer a Boxing Day test as well, so let's just hope that that comes back to us in future seasons.
And with Hagley Oval now already through its first summer after the pavilion and embankment development, it's hoped the already successful ground will continue to become a focal point of cricket in New Zealand.
This ground was voted the best international venue in the country last year. It was voted in the top 2 domestic venues. Our players absolutely love it. And you're right, in the last 5 or 6 years they haven't had a venue of world-class quality. Now they do. So we hope that translates onto better on-field performances as well. But all players who come here really enjoy the experience and love playing at Hagley.
Gordon Findlater, CTV Sport.
Time now for the region's weather forecast.
Good evening, Canterbury. Well, today we had a little bit of high cloud which eased off and lovely sunshine came out in the afternoon. What a balmy day it was. Very hot temperatures, 21 there for Timaru and 19 for Geraldine, Temuka and Waitemata. Central Canterbury, that warmth continued here. 21 degrees there for Christchurch and Ashburton, practically summer. 17 for Leaston and Methven and 19 for Akarawa. Heading further north, Kaikoura on 18 degrees along with Cheviot and Oxford. 19 there for Colwyn, Hamner Springs and Rangiora, and a lovely 20 degrees for you, Amberley. Over to the Alpine region, a little bit cooler for Arthur's Pass on 8 degrees there. Tomorrow for Timaru is also looking lovely and hot. 18 degrees for your high and northerly winds easing and dying out in the morning. Sunny skies for you as well, Ashburton. 19 degrees for your expected high and northwesterly winds a little bit gusty in the afternoon. Christchurch, cloudy patches, however, sunshine as well. 19 degrees for your high there and a few northwesterly winds, 6 degrees for your morning start. Flipping over now to Kaikoura, 18 degrees for your high and a few northwesterly winds as well. Sunny skies with cloudy patches for the rest of the Canterbury region as well. 18 degrees is the high there for Temuka and Geraldine, a little bit of rain there for Twizel. Central Canterbury, lovely warm temperatures here tomorrow too. 18 degrees there for Akarawa and Darfield, northwesterly winds for everyone here. As we head further north, that trend continues. Cloudy skies but sunshine peeking through. 18 degrees is the trend for almost everyone, apart from you Oxford on 19 there, and northwesterly winds for everyone. Down to the Alpine region, northwesterlies here for Lake Tekapo, a little bit of rain but 15 degrees for your high. Looking to the upcoming days, Thursday is also looking lovely and pleasant. Could be a few gusty northwesterly winds in the afternoon and a bit of a southerly change in the evening, but lovely warm temperatures again. Friday we're also seeing a lovely day, mild temperatures, and we're seeing a little bit of cloud and sunshine. Southwesterly change though in the evening, could be a little bit of rain activity there. Thursday for the rest of the Canterbury region, those southwesterly winds not coming in until later on. Northwesterlies prevailing through most of the Canterbury region during the day, and we're seeing those cloudy skies and sunshine present. Looking to Friday, southwesterly winds in the evening but a mostly fine dry day, and as we are seeing in the evening we're also seeing a little bit of rain and could be a bit of snow into Banks Peninsula to 300 metres and to Kaikoura for the foothills. So lovely balmy days ahead for the next few days. That spring weather is definitely here. And that's your weather update for Tuesday.
Thanks, Mercy, and that is your CTV News. For more of these stories, head to our website at ctv.co.nz. Good night.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.